Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest beat coming through, jumping knowledge on all that you get. A bigger the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like soldiers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can't see us. Like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live. It's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy, Sir, of the 2020 Podcast, LLC. Please say
The
LLC.
thank you.
Please.
This is my
Por favor.
why stand here.
Por favor.
Sexual chocolate. But before we get started, I just want to say I like to brag on that intro. Jay Haynes murdered that motherfucking track. I don't care what nobody say. That is the hardest intro track I've ever heard. Shout out to you, Jay Haynes. But today I'm here with my illustrious people, my 2020 family. We got the boy Black, K Marie, Mr. Stoke. We in here, and we're here to discuss current events. Now, if you don't know, this current event thing is kind of a new trend for us. Because I'm typically not a fan of the format. I ain't even gonna lie. The people here already know. But because you guys are engaged or because you guys are reaching out and asking for this, we decided to go live today and let's have this talk. Kevin Samuels passed away yesterday, at the age of 55 from cardiac arrest. And we're here to discuss our thoughts on it, the way it was handled, the way people are reacting, the way people are discussing this particular topic. And before I go, I just want to give a shout out to my people and to kind of give y'all the ball first, man. I'm gonna pose this question and I'm gonna let y'all just volleyball this thing however way y'all want to go. When you initially saw the report, what was your reaction? And we'll start with you, K Marie. When you first saw the report that Kevin Samuels had passed away, what were your thoughts?
I think my thought when I see anyone pass away, dang, ooh, that's jacked up. Like, ooh. And then just to see the age, it was more so empathy of him being a human being, regardless of what it was that he said and what he stood for. It was more so empathy that there is a human life that was lost. And I think that was definitely more so my initial reaction when it came across. And really added to that is that it was unsure, because I saw it when it first came about and it was still to be rumored, and then really in the wee hours of the night it was really confirmed, and the early hours of this morning and finding out more things, it was like I felt like I was getting tea. But definitely a loss of a voice, regardless if I agree with the voice or not. A loss of a man being able to express his true feelings, you know what I mean? And I think that that's important. If y'all already know, if y'all have heard me before, I feel like that's very important. A safe place for a man to be able to express himself, regardless of whether I agree with it or not. You know what I mean? I feel like that's important. Black.
Well, I always feel like I'm being set up for something. I want to defer to Wyatt today. I'm gonna defer to him first, because he wasn't here last time, so we're gonna let him go and I'll go after him.
That just means you got more to say. Dun, dun, dun. Mr. Stoke.
Yeah, so K Marie kind of had the same thoughts. Like, I thought it was sad that he passed. You know what I mean? I think that to me it always was just simply about him communicating and sometimes just being a voice for a different point of view, because I think that it can be something that can simply just kind of get lost in translation, especially in nowadays and how men and women both, interact with one another. So I didn't, I was like, damn, he gone. You know what I mean? But I just honestly I thought about this where we had a conversation about it. It was a couple months ago where we had to watch one of the things for Squad Goals, and that was the one thing that made me kind of think about that too, because he always made me feel like an uncle who said something like, if you put on weight, he gonna be like, hey, your ass getting fat over here, and then after that you'd be like, well, damn, uncle, you can't say it another way. But like, to me, I felt like there were nuggets in what he said, no matter what, how people took it.
I feel that. Black, what you got, bro?
Well, I was watching another live stream I was on talking about another topic, and then it popped into the comments. And then, of course, start looking a little bit to see if, the validity of it, because, you hear a lot of times that people say they die and it'd be a hoax and stuff like that. And I was even in our group chat saying, I got a source saying that Kev gonna pop out after a couple of days because all these people was talking so bad about him, and be like, see, this is what I'm talking about. But I was watching this woman's podcast, and they was trying to get the tea, as they call it. They was trying to get the tea. They was going to the hospital, calling the morgue. They was talking to husbands that worked and that was on the scene, and it was so much veracity of information coming in on the underground that I was like, this might really be something for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody waiting on TMZ, and I'm like, nah, the streets always get it first.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got to see how women investigate men. They turn over every rock and create some rocks to turn over.
Boy.
But I knew that if it was true, I was gonna find out right there though. So I ain't hating. I'm just saying I knew I was gonna find out, and then people was like, it was being confirmed, and I was like, dang. And so right. I didn't really have an emotion one way or the other, because although I didn't necessarily agree with what he was saying, well, I agree with some of the things that he was trying to say, I guess, but I didn't like the vehicle in which he used to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said, I was indifferent because he wasn't my godfather. He wasn't my father. And that's not a knock to those that see him like that, because a lot of people don't have fathers and godfathers or male role models to be able to bounce that off of like that, or get information or get game that they were getting. I grew up with all that. So he wasn't that for me, you know what I'm saying? But so then I started watching the comments come in, and the women and just how ferocious it was. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I was starting to get overwhelmed by that, to the point where I was like, I need to talk to some different people, you know what I'm saying, to see different perspectives. And then I saw a couple of women that actually came out and was talking against it. And then I talked to my partner just now, and I got a wide range of perspectives. So for me, I don't know. I can see it any kind of way. I can see why they did that. I can see why women are like the way they are. I don't agree with it, but I can see why, because look what he was doing. Look what he was saying to them. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the backlash, because it's almost like you expecting us in public and we don't care now.
So to piggyback on y'all's reactions, when I first seen it, my first reaction is this, and I love my community, but I say this saying all the time: Black folks quick to kill somebody, boy. God damn. Like, that was my first reaction. So I was just like, I'm gonna just wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see what happened. And then I started to see more and more reports, more and more Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason I use Twitter, honestly, is to get information. I don't really go and post anything. So if you see my Twitter account, I ain't got no statements. I just go and just find out what the streets are saying. It's the digital streets. Like Black was saying, the streets get it first. Twitter's the digital streets. So news broke this morning, and my first instance was dread, because like you guys were saying, a voice was gone. I may not have agreed with their voice, and ain't even may. I didn't agree with the voice. I can't even say I may. I didn't agree with the voice. But my point was, I was more sad that this guy who really tackled his platform the way he did, like his tenacity of, if you don't feel the way I'm coming at you, come on my platform and let's talk about it. Or if you want to have him to interview, he didn't shy away from any interview. I respect that so much, to the point where I didn't idolize the gentleman. I just recognized it when I saw it. No, I don't like what you're saying, bro, but I see where you're going and I respect the way you're attacking it. You're not subtweeting, you're not doing anything like that. What you're doing, you're standing, hey, this is where I feel, this is where I'm gonna say it. You're coming to me, I'm gonna say what I feel. The same reason I respect Joe Rogan is the same reason I respected Kevin Samuels. I don't agree with either one, to be real with you, because they be out there. They be saying some wild shit, but when it comes to standing your ground and say what you're gonna say, we all are creatives in our own way, and so we all can respect it. Point blank. Period. So I'm gonna toss this question up to you guys now. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. We got 10 people in here. Shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all share the link. We got 10 up in here. Make sure y'all share the link. Share that link to the YouTube. Put it on somebody's feed who's going to be triggered and come in here and start talking trash. We want the comments.
Yeah, and I dropped the link to the YouTube. So if y'all can get to the YouTube and give us the views on YouTube, then that'll help us out a lot more, and we can do a lot more things. But we do appreciate it. If you don't want to do all that, stay where you at. But if you can, hit that link, please.
Yes, please do. Please do. Also, if you post a question, I will add it and post it in the chat. If you post a question, we'll address it. So just something to think about there. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of it, y'all, and we'll bring it back around. I'm gonna hit the reverse button, and we'll start with Black on this one. Let's talk about his content, the controversial content. The consensus around our community is that he was very anti-Black woman. What are your thoughts on that, and what are your views personally on the type of content he created?
Dang, boy, you good at this. You're good at this. That's why I keep trying to get you on all the time. This is kind of where I wanted to go. So as a content creator, right, I'll address it, that part, right? As a content creator, I know how hard it is to get content, to get the momentum, and put the work in and all that other stuff. So as a content creator, you got to respect the man's hustle. The type of content, right? The type of content I don't have a problem with, because what he was saying, the premise of what he was saying is what a lot of men feel, but they hadn't had the platform to say it. Now, what I didn't like is he would go so far with the stuff that it became circus-like. So now you take the validity out of it and you extract it with the circus, like calling the woman fat, calling them linebackers. Like, come on, bro. Like, your mom might be fat, your sister, your auntie. You got people that so you telling them, are you telling these people in your family that they know good like that? How you telling these people? I understand there's entertainment value, but at the end of the day, he understood the gravity in which the power he had, and he was just and I think he just kind of decided to just run with the whole circus atmosphere and just run it up, you know what I'm saying? And then it was like a man versus woman type thing, and he didn't show a lot of empathy, and that's what women were asking for, because they say it's not what you say, it's how you saying it. I know that that's not true, because Monique came with the softest delivery and they still dragged her. I understand that, but you can't be on the other side. You can't be on the other side talking about, well, shit, if you ain't gonna do this, then die alone, get a dog. You know, I mean, like, that's hella abrasive, and you taking away hope away from people, and you making it sound like these things are absolute. And then when you have men that don't have common sense gravitating to something that they're not familiar to, they're gonna take it in the literal sense. And so with that being said, he had a responsibility to curb that. And then being that he didn't, that's the reason why he's getting the backlash that he is right now, because you was coming off as you hate Black women, or you hate women, so they don't have no problem with showing how they feel about you either.
Respect. What say you, Mr. Stokes?
So I think he had good intentions, but like I said, I don't think his communication skills were good to be able to explain what he was trying to do. So like there's just nuggets in what he was saying about appreciating yourself and also becoming a high, quote unquote, high value man or woman. But like you said, I think he, like Black said, I think he went about it where he just did it for entertainment value. You know what I mean? Because dragging a man or a woman about how they look and things like that, you're not going to be able to help them understand and be able to try to get the person that they want. And I also felt like that he also depreciated the value of personality and having common interests. Like it was just about simply, okay, what can you offer that person? And yes, that is important in certain aspects of the relationship, but that's not everything. So that was what I took from his messages. But I think there are stuff that you can be able to learn even from a fool when he says something. You know what I mean? Whether that just be not to talk, or in this situation, I felt like it was more like, okay, be able to take value in what yourself, and also having self-evaluation as well. So it was one of those things from there. But that was about it. That's what I got from it.
All right, brother. That was very well articulated. Definitely felt like, and I'm gonna let Kay jump in here. Definitely felt
I got nervous because I thought she was talking about me when she was saying no. I was like, I know, but I was worried though for just that second.
Cheering, bro.
Yeah.
Cheerings. But no, it I definitely agree with y'all. And this would just be my quick stand-in point until she's good. But yeah, I definitely felt like I have an uncle that talks the way he talks. Larger than life, talks to you kind of condescending, but I'm not going to say has the best intentions with it, because it does seem like he derives some pleasure in demeaning me while he speaks to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he don't love me, but it's just the way he speaks is broken. It's not valid. So when Black said, will you get this response? This is how you treated them. So we're not upset with how you come at them, but we're going to come back to that point a little bit later. K. Marie, what you got for us, sister?
So what turned me off of Kevin Samuels and what made me not really want to listen to anything he had to say is that I think I was talking to Black earlier when I said that this is on the phone because, you know, we down for real, you know what I mean? But I was saying that the fact that the majority of what he said was opinion, and then he would go and place maybe 50 opinions with 2 facts and ride on the facts to make it seem like his opinions were also fact. I didn't like that, because then it's fool's gold, if you will. You're sitting on a pedestal as if you are this is the key to us being like this. You like this because of this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. 58% of women said this. So therefore you are this, that. You know what I mean? And he brought up a very valid point that, I mean, really, when you go into a scientific problem, if you will, a scientific experiment, you have your hypothesis, and your hypothesis is really based on opinion until you back it up with scientific fact. You know what I mean? So like if you did a group study over here with these 100 women, and you got your I guess your bell curve from these 100 women, the 68.2%, as Sir Black would say. I'm surprised he doesn't have that shirt on today, but that still doesn't make it fact for me, because really it's still you rocketing off of your opinion and standing on it like nobody can move it, because this is what you feel, this is what it is, because I talk to these people, or in my life this is what it is, as if there's no alternative to it. I have a problem with that. We can debate all day, but just because you think this doesn't mean that this is the only way that it can be. And I always have a problem with that. Also, the way that you talk, you can whatever you put out, you're going to get back. So the backlash that he's getting back from women, which I also don't agree with, because this is still a human life. I feel like freedom of speech, and I feel like he felt like this. Freedom of speech is real. And as people that use our language, because I'm also a spoken word artist, so people that use our words as our platform, as our livelihood, that means something for us. You know what I mean? And he was uncensored, and he took pride in being able to be uncensored. So whatever whatever he could come up with to say, it was really his prerogative to say. Now, I don't agree with any of that, like I already said, but it was how he felt, and it was him getting his emotion off. It was him being able to release himself, whether you wanted to hear it or not. And because I didn't want to hear it, I left it over there by the wayside. But that doesn't mean that I felt like he shouldn't have his own platform to be able to speak what he wants to speak and say what he wants to say. If you agree with it, agree with it. If you don't, then leave it where it is. Like, I didn't lose any sleep over whatever he was talking about because I didn't invest in it like that. You know what I mean? So
And so the pushback I
On
gave
one
to you,
hand, I disagree with what he was saying, but I am in support of people being able to speak on what it is they truly feel and what it is that they back and what it is their views are on, because we do need everybody's point of view in order to make this what it's supposed to be and come together. If I thought like Mr. Stokes, you know, you would need me and Mr. Stokes on everything. Why? Because now there's two of us. You can only use one of us. One of us will do. You know, if we were all meant to be like the other person in the same point of view, there wouldn't be a variety of us. You know what I mean? Everyone would have been made copy, you know, cookie cutter and, you know, copied. So I feel like that. So I don't know if that's straddling the fence. I don't know if I've broken the mold with my sisters because I'm not over here bashing this man that's in the, you know, almost in the grave, you know, just because of some things that he has said or some beliefs that he's had. I don't feel like that vindicates us Christians putting the knife up and
Right.
you know, this is why Jesus got crucified. I'm not comparing him to him, but I'm just saying, whenever somebody has something that you don't agree with or that you're not in a line with, then you want to kill him off. Oh no, he's dead. Great, we slayed the giant. Did you though? You know what I mean? Oh, he's down in the grave. We ain't got it. Ooh, glory. But were you really under his thumb though? Or were you feeding into that? Is this a him thing or a you thing? Because really you have to turn it around and look in the mirror sometimes. Why is this riling you up so much? Why is he getting under your skin? Because really he can say anything that he wants to say. You allowed it to get into you and affect your energy. You know what I mean? Me, not so much. So I don't know where that puts me in the conversation, but ooh.
Well, because you weren't, because see, the thing is, the things that he was saying didn't really apply to you in that way. Because remember, we was going back and forth in the pushback I gave you, because you was like, where is he getting this baseline of information from? Is his own experiences or what? And I was saying, yeah, it's like one part his own experience, one part is he talked to his homeboys and they confirm whatever it is that he talking about, or he hear experiences. Then it's also you get a platform and you put it out there and other men have similar experiences, and then they all gravitate to that. And that's what made him so relevant, is because he was saying things that men can identify. And like he was saying, okay, now we're using that as the premise and the jumping board to go off of. Now where he lost me at was where he took it. And that's where you were saying, now that part is your opinion. So I feel like a lot of women were triggered by it because some of the premise things that he was saying was true, but his end game for me was like very, very toxic. So now the ends justify the means for how women are acting today when it comes to him, because they feel like they slayed the king of the, because you see him already saying like all these men lost their daddy today. Like, that ain't really even funny though. It's condescending, but it ain't even really funny, because what if these dudes really didn't have that example? Sure, they picked somebody that maybe took them to the extreme, but now they're aware of themselves and maybe can back off of that and understand, hey, you know what, that was a little extreme, but I'm at least in the knowing now, whereas before all I was doing was blaming women. All I was doing was blaming society. All I was doing was blaming myself.
So
I've-
also,
Go ahead.
so one thing that I didn't like when it came to him was trying to have try to make facts out of opinions, like everybody was saying. Like, so if you take small sample size, you can always get the kind of, okay, well, 98% of these people feel like that. And some, like, say for instance, like Black was saying, if he's choosing to choose, like, okay, I'm gonna talk to my homeboys, I'm gonna talk to the people that I know in a certain circle, then you guys may have the same experience. And I'm not saying that belittles or makes it so that you can't have anything else, but like if you share those same experiences, then you can always kind of fit the mold from that point. Now, I think one of the things that may trigger people, in particular women that were watching that don't really care for Kevin Samuels, was because they were the things that made them low value women. He said made them almost like they didn't deserve to have a good man because of these things, and that wasn't right on his part, because you know what I mean, no matter what happens, you still deserve to have somebody that treats you right and has those essential qualities in building a good relationship.
But
Now
is
I
that what
find
he's
that
saying?
interesting.
No,
Well,
go ahead, bro.
I find that interesting because that's a different viewpoint from what I've been hearing as well. And I think that's the purpose of this dialogue. Like Kay said, this is why we gotta be able to talk, because we're all hearing different things based on the different people we interact with. I had a really intense debate before this episode because the point that had to be brought to me that I kind of overlooked, I ain't even gonna I did overlook because of my stance of being a Black man, is what they see, the ones who are affected and deeply disturbed by him, is they just see a man getting big off of these clips where he's belittling Black women, where he's getting a following and people are amening. It feels like he's becoming a champion of anti-Black women, which I can understand that viewpoint. I disagree for two reasons. One, when these clips are made, these clips are chosen and made by people who are not him or his party. Also, we the consumers are the ones at fault when something goes viral. That's the part. It's the accountability of what something is. It I don't want to come off like this and say it's our fault, but it kind of is. Somebody can't blow up unless we let them. Like, he got a following because unfortunately he got big because his videos were started to cater to people who wanted to feel that way. His rhetoric of oh, if you look like this, you a clown. If you look like this, you're unacceptable. You don't need love. You don't make enough to deserve this. He made a living off of that. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm aware of that because I would go back, because I don't want to make an opinion off of assumptions like we were talking about just a moment. I want to go and actually see what your content is. I went and seen what his early content was compared to what the end game was. Drastically different. In the beginning, he was very, very, very meticulous, very logistics based. Okay, how much money do you make? Could you put money into this? His approach was very business-like. But as he loosened up his collar, more people started to feed into that. Now that persona got big. Now that persona attacking Black women on these viral clips is what people are seeing. And so I understand where everybody's point is, but I wanted to pose this question just out of curiosity. There is no right or wrong question. I just want to know what you guys think. What kept bringing people to his show to offer themselves? Like, what if you know this guy is going to spew some poison? I'm just asking y'all, why would someone put themselves in that light? And I'll let whoever go from that, because that's the one that eludes me.
Well, perceive poison, right? Because some people got game out of that. But to answer your question, though, the reason why is the indignation. I keep answering it this way, the same way. It's the indignation. Anytime somebody say you can't do something, you're gonna want to say, "Oh yeah, I can." And I promise you, a lot of them women in the middle of the day say, I'm gonna go on Kevin Samuel's show today, and I'm gonna be able to show him that he ain't all what he cracked up to be. But whenever you go to his play yard, it's his rules, his balls. He's not gonna let you beat him with emotion. He's gonna beat you with logic. So it's the only reason why they go up there is the indignation. Not the only reason, but a main reason why is the indignation. Now I believe some other went up there sincerely looking for help, because the things that he would describe mirrors what's going on in their life. Because trust and believe, you don't have to talk to everybody in the world to able to get a diagnosis of what's going on. You can have a sample set. It can't be too small, because you're right about that. But in order for you to understand what a trend is, you got to get a sample set, even if it was none but 100 people. I'm sure he talked to at least 1,000 people. And so now he has an experience base his opinions off of, which is more than a person that only spoke to maybe 20 or 30 or 40 women or people in general. So he just ran with that part. And I think the reason why is women want to show him that he was wrong, so they kept going up there, and then it was some that really wanted help. These comments coming in. Let's read the comments,
bro. Look, I'm over here trying to share with the crowd. Shout out to everybody who's coming in from YouTube.
So since she was here as well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Since she was here as well, Sade of K and Day, The Adventures of K and Day, by way of Not Your Typical Tuesdays, on none other than the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC. So Sade said her point of view is the people saying those things are vindicated in their opinion the same way that he was vindicated in his. She said that the way that he died and the way that he spoke attested to not the things that he had experienced, but the things that he had never felt or had ever experienced. So he only had the point of view by the things that he had gone through that he hadn't healed from yet. She also said she thinks it's real funny how people are in an uproar about Kevin Samuels, but haven't said anything about the reversal of Roe versus Wade.
Boy, look, I have a whole nother.
So I just wanted to throw that out there, and now we can read the comments. But I also agree with that statement.
Well, he didn't.
People real chirp when it comes to men voting on women's bodies. You know what I mean? In some situations that they ain't never even felt. Don't side black.
That's the issue. Oh no, I didn't know what. I didn't even know why everybody was in a tizzy about the Roe versus Wade thing, because I really didn't. But now that you say that, I understand. So it's because you don't want men voting on what a woman should do with her body. Is that what this is?
That's ultimately it. But still, we're voting on what women can and can't do with their own bodies. And that right there is enough to be pissed off about, let alone the way that it's happening is men are voting. Men that have never been in that situation. They've never had to decide from that point of view. They could have been a part of the decision. They could have been taken. Hold on.
Won't y'all sit down and be quiet? Y'all see me on this live. Won't y'all always do that? I could be here all day and y'all don't say nothing to me. I get on this live and y'all want to sit here and talk to me. Now sit down, be quiet, and get some juice.
You better not be in that toilet.
Right.
That's the best dubbed I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes, Mom.
Right. Drink some juice. That's what I said. Because I had already said it about 4 times.
Right.
You can't be on the video, baby. That music going, I couldn't even hear myself. Thank Lord. And I couldn't have y'all, knowing what I said. So anyway, I didn't cuss out. Just know that. Right. I'm just stern when I be talking. Okay. I forgot now. I was fussing.
So Matthew Smith on the cover said, "Would you rather solve?"
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. But ultimately, that's the first reason. But this is not that conversation. So let's talk about what we have at hand.
Yeah, that would be a good one to talk about. He said, "Would you rather solve world hunger and get paid $200,000 every year without being taxed, or would you come on a child? And would you what?"
So I don't know what point you're going for, bro. But you should get blocked, fam.
Yeah, I don't even know why my stupid self even picked that one to even read. Like, because you already
because it was on the screen.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, bro. Look,
would you rather spend time saying stupid stuff
Have
Or
common
would you,
sense, bro.
yeah, would you rather spend time saying stupid stuff online or spend real time in your life and get it together? How about that one? Do that, like for real, bro.
Right.
That's
Or
crazy.
whatever.
We trying to
Let's
have an adult conversation here. You know,
let's not even talk about that shit no more. Food for Insomnia said, who isn't talking about Roe versus Wade? Plenty of people on my timeline. I understand. I agree. Food for Insomnia. I saw it, but it is not getting the uproar that
That
this
this is
Kevin
getting.
Samuels is. I'm sorry. It's especially not with my people. It is a drastic difference. Chandra said, I heard about that today. The believing the husband over the child, I had not heard of that. That I would have had an issue with. So we're gonna come back to that. So the Roe versus Wade thing. This is I saw this coming. Now the crazy shit is where this is gonna sound real fucked up, but I'm gonna be 100%. Black
this is
women,
your
I love
opinion.
y'all,
This
but
is your
bruh,
opinion.
I hope this open y'all eyes, man. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know, but pay attention to how they be moving, bruh. And when I say they, I'm talking about the underside of your head. You will get used to make a certain movement, but when it comes to certain stuff like this, I feel like a lot of people don't have your back. They will say they do, but when it comes to voting or having these conversations, I'm not seeing it, bro. So just I feel like we have a responsibility to push this more with conversations like this. I would love to have more people come up and discuss this. So this is regarding y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I will never be in a position where I should be able to judge. I will never feel like I should, but I would love to have that conversation with y'all to see what y'all think about that, because that is traumatic. The fact that this wasn't even the first time this has been tackled. This has been a years thing, generational thing.
Decades, man. They've been
Bruh,
trying to get that. Yeah.
And the fact that shit got reversed, that's crazy.
Well, that's monumental, especially as long as they've been fighting Roe versus Wade.
Bruh.
But that happened with Trump when they were pushing all those people, like those Supreme Court justices, and that's why everybody was fighting so hard, because then that gave them the conservative that balance, and they tipped it over there. So that was very unfortunate.
So what's wrong with the states voting? I was asking from an ignorant standpoint. What's wrong with the states voting? That puts it into the hands of people, right? And before you say it's because it's a woman's body, that's true, right? But when procreating a child, it takes two people. So with that being said, I understand you're the carrier, so you have more burden, more responsibility, more everything. So if it's one part man, what part is it woman?
So that's the thing. With majority of the work, and I agree, we have to drop the seed in order to do so. But if they are going to be the primary person affected by this, like this doesn't affect our bodies. That's my thing. It does not have any weighing on a man's body. So since it has to do with their anatomy directly, I think they're the ones who have the most sway. I don't think I'm just not comfortable voting on something that doesn't affect me. Like the fact that I could sway the polls on something that affects all women and I'm not affected. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
But you are affected though.
I'm not affected directly. I'm affected indirectly.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is whether you're directly or indirectly affected, you're affected. You can put it on the scale and see which one weighs the most. You can do that, but at the end of the day, you both are complicit the same way. Like,
well, let me redact
because based on that logic, then when the child comes, then it should be the woman's responsibility to take care of it because it came out of her body. It didn't come out of mine, and that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking off the top of my head now. I'm like, okay, I understand that. I do agree with you on that, but my baseline in which I would vote for that is not based on if it was her body. If you're a Christian woman and I'm a Christian woman and we both believe in Jesus, and I know and you know that abortion is wrong, I'm voting for it to be outlawed. It has nothing to do with that is your body. It has nothing to do with me on any level. It has to do with our belief system. And
Okay.
I'm thinking
But
that's how I'm looking at it.
but our belief system and in a government isn't based off of Christianity. It's supposed to be a secular thing.
Right. And
And
that's why
now,
everybody
once
and that's
again,
why yeah, that's a very excellent point. And that's why everybody have a vote. So then that way you could sit there and divvy it out accordingly. Ain't that why every state have the ability to vote it in and vote it out?
Yeah,
I'm thinking
but
I was thinking it was giving women more options, but now that I'm hearing it, it's like they're trying to limit women.
and now we're in that space again where we were with our last Zaya Wade conversation, where it's morals versus ethics.
Mhm.
We're back at it again.
Oh, look at K Marie. I told you several times I'm not making
Keep going
Kool-Aid
on.
with all that extra sugar
you see
because
me.
no, I'm just playing.
You see
No,
me
I'm
over
sorry.
here on this video. Why would
No,
you
you
do this right now? You know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I don't give a damn if you don't want the crust.
right.
But
Well,
no,
you don't have
seriously,
to crust right now. Yeah.
it's always going to be a catch-22 because at the same point, I want them to be able to have some sort of rule over their body. It just does not feel right to me, regardless of what I believe. And I won't say I'm the most direct Christian. I'll say I'm spiritual because there's certain stuff that goes on within the Christian Bible that I don't agree with. So overall, from an ethical standpoint, I think women should have more sway over how this goes. Just like with, I don't give a fuck how it's done. Like we have a way to regulate everything. Just look at the electoral college. I don't give a fuck if we got to do something in that
That's so stupid.
range or whatever, but I just don't feel like it's fair the way it's being handled. It just don't
So,
feel
so
right.
that's what I'm saying. So should it be 1 part man, 3 part women? Like I'm talking
Something
about
to
like
that effect. Yeah. I don't give a damn if we got to do like a population count, like I said, with the electoral college and let it go
right.
that way. But it can't be just, oh, I'm a man, I get a vote. Oh, she's a woman, she gets a vote. Because in this situation, we are equal, but it affects us differently. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a weight on them in this particular
Okay.
scale.
Okay. See, so then that becomes a slippery slope because then what if men
I
start
agree.
saying, well, okay, we should make more money at work than women because we do more physical labor than them. What if that becomes the argument? Like, oh, I'm a man and my productivity, I can pick up more than you, so I should get paid more than you. How does that fit into it then?
Well,
Because
most jobs aren't manual labor anymore.
well, there's a lot of manual labor jobs. Let's say I worked at Walmart and you want me to pick up this stuff off the top shelf and you want me to take this stuff in the back because you're a smaller woman and I'm a bigger male. Should I get paid more than you? I've had
But
this
it's
is the
also,
thing
it's also free. So now we're kind of touching on a whole bunch of different things because there's free markets, there's unions, there's all these other things that play into those things. So, like, as far as that and why you're hired and what goes on from that point, like, but the discrimination or like not the discrimination, the discrepancy between what men were making and what women were making was really crazy. Now that it was done like that beforehand because a lot of times men were the breadwinners of the households, but as generations have gone on, women have also taken in some of those roles because there haven't been males in that same area. So therefore, that's what made it where people had to have more equality when it came to the pays, because now it went from having it being something like oh, okay, this is just money for extra money for the house versus this being the primary way that this household eats, lives, and survives.
so yeah, for sure. So do you think two women cops are just as effective as 2 men cops?
It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Like, so
Okay, let me say it.
that's different from effectiveness and having the job is two different things.
Okay, let me back it up because I'm trying to make it plain as I can. Let's say there's a belligerent guy, and you have 2 options. Option A is two males come up or two women come up, who do you think are
So
going to be able? Who do you think going to be able to subdue that guy? I'm talking
so
about. I'm
let
talking
me
about
let me let me
majority of
ask
the
you.
time.
And I know you're talking about 6 to 8.2 at the time. Let me ask you this question. Since we're doing that,
Mm-hmm.
we got two women, right, that are approaching, and you're asking, would you rather have two women approach this guy or two men? What if the two women versus their size are able to talk this guy down?
Yeah.
What if the two guy cops that popped up killed him?
Right.
Are we going to
So-
pay them differently because, you know, the women are smaller and less likely to take him down? Or are we going to pay them what they're due because they're effective at their job?
Well, like if I would send, let's assume that this is a violent situation, because I would send a woman to, like, you know, when you have those mental health calls, when the cops come up and then the person wigs out and they shoot them. I think that's a time where when a woman cop will be able to have more empathy and deal with that situation in a better way than we do as men. But I'm talking about like an obvious physical situation where there is brute force necessary. Would you rather have two men show up or two women? And I'm only saying all that to say is, if you say two men, right, should they get paid more than a woman? And I'm gonna say no. That's all sound crazy to me. But what I'm saying is, when we start doing that, when we start weighing it, like, oh, this affects the woman more or this affects the man more, then you can never really get true equality that way, because there's always going to be those things that
Well,
make
it's all when you're comparing physical. When you're comparing the physical, it's never going to be equal because a man is stronger than a woman. And that went into our last conversation where we have an off conversation about transgender and hormone treatment and all that. But I think you're trying to strictly use the skew of the physical. But when it comes to these jobs, when it comes to labor, sometimes working harder isn't smarter. So where you could physically pick up 40 bags and make your money, she may have found a way where we ain't got to pick up all them bags. She might be able to use a piece of equipment more effectively because she's more educated. She might have a license. And I feel like she might be able to get the job done because she's more qualified. So I hear what you're saying with the physical part,
that's an
but
option.
it's less likely now.
I'm just saying, if that was an option, I'm just saying, if you pull up to the block,
Yeah, but
you
that's
pull up
just
to
one.
if you pull up to the store and the dude and the police and somebody was running from the police, would you rather have two dudes chasing this dude or two women? That's all I'm really like basing it.
But it's all about the different situation and how is it handled as well. So like, it's not going to be just one situation. Now, I get what you're saying about the physicality.
I'm
but
not going to feel safer with the guy versus a woman. That's what's not going to
You
happen.
you wouldn't feel safer,
because I've seen women bust a nigga ass. I've seen women drop a nigga off a hook.
Bro, I got 21st girl cousins. I done seen them beat niggas ass. I'm talking about thug niggas. I done seen them have them in corners and all that. But I'm not about to sit here and say that's the norm. That ain't the norm. That's
but
not
just
the
because
norm.
it's not the norm doesn't mean that it can't happen.
And I'm not about to weigh my life on the 12% that might happen versus the 68.2 that I know could happen. But I understand what we're saying, because we splitting hairs here and it makes it kind of convoluted. So it depends on the situation. But all I'm really saying is that at the end of the day, you got to treat people for what they are. You know what I'm saying? And I do see Raina in here. Do I see Raina in these comments? Raina Banks? I see it. Can y'all please?
Hold on, Kate, did you have something to say? I don't know if you were able to unmute.
She was cussing everybody.
I think she was reading. I don't know.
I don't even know how we got from the choice of a woman being able to have a baby or not to whether if you send two male cops to two female cops, if they're going to be effective and if they deserve more pay. And this is the part of the issue right here. Why it was brought up that people are talking about this nonsense over this that is actually affecting us. You know what I mean? For instance, I had a tubal ligation. So if I get pregnant, it's only going to be in my tubes. If I get pregnant in my tubes, I automatically have to have an abortion. Now I'm going to be investigated before I can have an abortion in order to save my life.
That's crazy.
I don't have that choice anymore.
That's fucking crazy.
Right. a 12-year-old gets raped by her uncle, she is pregnant by him, she can no longer have the choice to have an abortion. Or let me guess, it's the sin in the sex and the rape and not in the child growing inside her. Is that what we're preaching right now? Because I feel like that choice is important. We don't have that anymore. I don't care if it came from your seed, your seed, your seed, your seed. This is my body.
Also,
my whole body. And in order to give birth, you cannot compare being a mother to you donating your sperm. To me carrying a child in my body. I have done it twice. You know what I mean? The change that, yes, my husband was there. I was blessed in that way. But I could have been someone like my mama who was raising 3 of us on her own. You know what I mean? Like, this affects so much more than just whether somebody can... it's going to be more effective if this fuck that. Like, real spill. This is our livelihood. You know what I mean? This is us being able to decide X, Y, and Z. We don't have that choice. And there are men sitting in the seats taking that choice from us when they have never been in the position ever of being a woman. In any of the scenarios that you want to throw out there, they've never been in that position. And now they have voted for us not to be able to do what we want to do with our own body. Fuck out of here.
So, and I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I just want to know, where is that energy at before you let them go in raw?
That ain't always the case. You're making it like it's always apples to apples. Like they ain't oranges, lemons out here, limes, watermelon out here. You know what I mean? Big trees.
Hold on. I'm sorry. No, I'm not gonna let you do me like that. But hold on. Let me preface my statement before I said that. Then my bad.
I feel like you said enough.
Let me create that in post. Those situations that you just described, those situations that you just described, I totally agree with you. Like, you shouldn't force a woman to have an abortion if she got raped. You shouldn't. You shouldn't force. You shouldn't make the decision for her like that. And I do agree with all that. But majority of the abortions isn't because of that. And I think when you're trying to make a judgment for the whole society, you have to include everybody. So I agree with you that you should include those situations, and you should be able to make that. But we're talking about, I think what they're talking about is the majority of people are doing it because of frivolous actions, lack of using protection. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I mean, like, and I think that's where it's all being focused at, because that's the majority of what's going on. And me too. And like I said, and it's crazy because I've always been pro-choice until I came to Alabama and I read something one time that really got me thinking, like, hey, if I'm really thinking that I'm a Christian like that, I can't be thinking that this is okay. And if that's how my baseline is, that's just how it is. I don't want to make the decision for you as a woman. I don't. And I don't think most men do.
I cannot say.
Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Right. I cannot speak for people and what they use things for. You can put a water fountain there and I can use it to hydrate myself, and somebody else can use it as a bidet. I cannot say whether you're going to use this for this or this for this. But what I can say is, when you include all in that includes all scenarios. Yes, I agree with you there. But I feel like these outshine what's happening over here. Sure, they can do this, that, and the other. I don't necessarily agree with the same way I don't agree with Kevin Samuels, but I do agree with you having a choice in what to do with your own body.
So who decided to overturn it?
They.
I'm asking. I don't know.
A whole bunch of days.
They.
Who was they?
They have been trying to overturn it since it went through. It has been a battle to overturn it. They, whichever they in the generation it is, they over there, these men that feel like women shouldn't have a voice, these men that feel like, oh, well, we're going to control the population if we be able to do this. We'll have more babies born, therefore we'll eventually have more workers, we'll have this, that, and the other, there's more revenue, this, that, and the other. Whoever thinks like that, they over there that feel like as Christians, death is not of God, and you're killing these unborn babies, this, that, and the other. They over there that are in all the red states, they over there that are marching for women's right and got their titties out for 3.5 miles in a 5K every year. They over there that are tired of slut shaming and feel like they can do all of them. The theys.
So how did it get to the Supreme Court then? And why wasn't it stopped before it got? Why didn't it get stopped before it got to the Supreme Court?
Well, because
it just
yeah,
this time, it
Supreme Court, yeah, that the justices have always been more balanced, and it's been more towards like the liberal side. But now because of like what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years, where they would hold off on naming a Supreme Court. One time they did it for 9 months. They held off on doing that. And then one time they pushed it through because their argument the first time was like, hey, we need to wait. We need to make sure that everybody has their voices being heard. And then the next time that opportunity for a Supreme Court just came up and the Republicans had the majority, they were like, we got to push this shit through now.
So the woman that just got in, is she conservative or is she liberal?
She's liberal, but they also have more numbers now. So they're trying to offset the numbers that the Republicans have right now.
Because Trump, he voted in how many?
Two
of them, I think.
2 or 3. I thought it was 3.
I'm not sure. I'm asking. Okay. So that's they're trying to balance it out now, because now that is more conservative. Now's the time to bring up the Roe versus Wade, and then just to give it a time to pass through because it's more conservative now.
Yes.
That basically was what y'all saying.
Yes, correct. And then also because the Supreme Court justices, they have to wait until they die to have a new opening. So that's why the Democrats were like, hey, if they're going to do this, if they're going to pull this bullshit, then we need to have more people. And that's why they were trying to add more Supreme justices to it. But because then they didn't have enough power to do that, and they just had to wait until certain people. And so then Supreme Court justices can also be like, hey, I've been in here for 50 years. It's time for me to check out. Like, I think it was Supreme Court Ginsburg. She was an older lady, and she was from the Democrats, but she passed away, and so therefore she had to do it. But yeah, and that's actually brought up a good point. They shouldn't be liberal or conservatives. It should just be right or wrong. But the thing that they're doing now is there's no longer that people just want to be right, and people want to have their agendas push forward. They don't really care about the people in the middle. They don't really care. And that's a problem, I think, with liberals and conservatives. Like, nobody wants to meet in the middle anymore. Nobody wants to be like, hey, this person may have some valid points. However, this person may have some valid points. Let's find some middle ground. Everybody's like, it's either my way or no way. And that's why they stall out a whole lot of different movements and different plans and laws, because they just can't come together.
Very well said. Very well said. Everyone is for self, I'm True Official says, and I agree. One of the prime examples is Mitch McConnell. Like, he's one of the primary ones that's really showing and just doing what he kind of wants. I've seen him sway back and forth so much on everything. And it honestly, people on both sides should be offended at the way things are being handled now, because it's people that are, I understand no one's going to be completely conservative on every single thing. Nobody's going to be completely liberal on every single thing, but the way it'll be the same topic, but depending on the environment, their stance will change. And I don't even mean through different terms. I mean in a simple matter of months. And it's like, where's the consistency? Like, where do you really stand with this? It seems like it's a distinct lack of integrity.
What the guy that you just mentioned, when they were talking about bringing in the new justice, they were like, this woman is wonderful. Like
Oh,
they were like, they couldn't find anything bad to say about her, but they just voted no just off of
mhm.
just basic GP. They were like, nah, we there's nothing the matter with her qualifications. She's a woman of God. She's talked about how she, you know what I mean? Because what they do now is like the conservatives and the liberals, they try to make sure that there's nothing that they can be able to be used against them. And then
Mhm.
after that, they'll be like, okay, I've checked off all these boxes that, say for instance, the conservatives really want. They need to be, be the best in their class. They need to go to law school. They need to be in medical school. They need to do all these other things. And then after that, they'll be like, oh, still no, we're not going to check it off. But to kind of bring it back to kind of Kevin Samuels, like I really feel like a lot of times where that, divide between not being able to come together, he did that same thing where it was like men versus women versus,
Yeah.
and having people be like, okay, like who did who wrong the most? Whose fault is it that black love can't really thrive? And then I think sometimes the way he said stuff made it seem like women were the issue, but also there were certain times where he just had to have people just do self-reflection. And at first, he used to give really knowledgeable insight for not only men but women, men and women. But once he started to get a little bit more fame and those sound bites, like that's where it became more of a, well, this is what you need to do, don't do this, you know what I mean? So that's where I thought, he kind of fell off, lost his way.
I agree. And I'm not gonna say I put 100%, like I said before, 100% of blame on Kevin. A lot of it has to do with the following and what we were following him for. Because I've definitely and I spoke about this in one of our previous squad goals, the one in particular where I had us watch the Joe Budden interview. Media will misconstrue your words or chop out certain parts of an interview to make it seem like it's playing more into a certain narrative. And I was kind of astounded at how articulate he was about how much he didn't like that. He was very adamant about if you wanted to see what he had to say, come to his platform. Don't go by what you see on YouTube. Don't go by what your homegirl send you, what your homeboy send you. Come to me, come see what I offer, and then we'll go from there. I respect that because I'm not gonna blame him for the wheelhouses that social media does. How it's so easy to edit and chop and use your words and skew them towards your own rhetoric, whatever it may be. Because, like you were saying, why when he first started, he was just analyzing people, like he was doing businesses. He would just analyze you based on the info you gave him. He'd give you a response. You might not like it, but it was a response, and it did have some tact in the beginning, but towards the end, I feel like he lived long enough to see himself become the villain. Long story short.
Man, when he started talking bad about certain celebrities, he was like, oh, this is why you're not gonna find a man either. I was like, bruh, there's no,
Whoa.
But that's just his opinion, though.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that's fair.
it's an opinion. Like, just like we don't scrutinize love. If we scrutinize love and hip hop, these basketball wives and all that shit, the same way we scrutinize Kevin Samuel shit, then we'll be a much better place, right? Because this YouTube shit is this is entertainment. Like, there's a line. Y'all don't go into these actors live. Well, they be trying go into these
I'm about to
actors
say, hold
lives
up.
and dox them and all that other stuff. But on YouTube and social media, where it's easier to do it at, and I'm like, come on, take it with a grain of salt. What he's saying, y'all really fed the animal, and then he got indignant. And of course, you're gonna pay for your shit. You're gonna pay for it. I'm not saying he goes without paying what he was saying, because a lot of things he was saying and doing was just disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like I saw a comment earlier said a lot of women that was going on there, they was looking for a high value man. They wasn't looking for no good man. And then he was also saying, hey, look, men, this is really what the game was. Men, I'm about to expose women for y'all, so y'all can see how they think, so you can see how they act, and you move accordingly. Example. So women feel like you shouldn't be able to tell them what to do with their body. True statement, man. So what you need to do is be more conscious of who you sleeping with. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal, right? But people not about to watch you come on there and just say that. So you got to do this all glorification of it to get to that point. So that way people could see it. And that's how it all played out. Like you said, he was meticulous at first. This. And then as he got better at it or whatever, he could just play it by ear, and then he just upstage the crowd. But then, like I said, I think he was just going too far with it. And then also the advice he was giving at the end, like it was like, are you doing more harm than good? Because like I was telling y'all, I felt like the women was done off the call. They sounded like they sound like they was like going to delete themselves because he didn't give them no hope. Like
he didn't.
What was the purpose of calling?
I agree with you there, bro.
I wanted to let Sade say her little 2 cents. Well, probably $1.02.
I don't know. I've been listening to some of it or whatever. Now
it's kind of hard to hear. Can she like come closer or?
I said I've been partially listening in and out a bit. And as far as Kevin Samuels goes, I understand what you were saying, Black, but I don't think it was that way with him where he was trying to expose these women in a roundabout way. I truly think that he was acting from his wounds in the perception that he's faced in his life and the interactions that he's had in his life. Now, did it probably expose the women that were coming there? Absolutely. But it also exposed men too and showed both sides that this is how women are thinking and this is how men are thinking. And I think that part of the problem in that is that nobody, and I think somebody brought this up earlier, is nobody is listening to each other. With somebody like me who works with a lot of spiritual things and work with men on a spiritual level, it is a lot of hurt there that needs to be addressed. And I don't think that Kevin Samuels was any different. He just used his platform to project his hurt. You know, and so you usually attract the people, you usually attract the energetic vibration that you are. So he attracted a lot of people that were hurt as well. So that's where you get a lot of people who are amen in him, and a lot of women who came to him because they were wounded in their masculine. They wanted that validation from him.
You muted, Black.
I totally agree with you. Can you consider that maybe both of those things were true? Because he could be showing his hurt through that, because you guys are seeing it from the pain that's coming from him. And then that's where the indignation comes from. And then from the men's side, they also see the lack of voice. No matter if we right, wrong, and indifferent, like Kay said, we need to be able to have the platform to say what we say and then back off where we wrong at. The thing that I was really hoping about Kevin Samuels, because he's so new in this space, and once you blow up, it's so much, I was hoping that he would mature a little bit more in a rapid pace, being that he was older, that he would be able to tune out. I mean, like, go back off some of that attacking the women, fine tune himself from attacking the women so aggressively. You know what I'm saying? But he had this, he's an OG, 50-something years old. You do what I say and no talk back. That's what probably hurt him right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, is it possible that both things could be possibly true?
Yeah, but I feel like yours is like 3%, and then hers is like 97.
I don't. Well, you should see it like that.
These are my opinions. My opinion.
You should see it like that.
My opinion.
Yeah. You need the sound bite? I got it for you. You need your Mac Mall, your opinion. No, I feel you, but from a woman's perspective, I can see that because how abrasive he was. But for those men that's in his chat, talking about they got some hurt that they trying to get out too. We might not be getting it out the most effective way, the most empathetic way, but it is what it is, and we do need to address it, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent.
Boy, I'm gonna co-sign that right there because I'm not gonna lie. When women would approach me saying like some of these terrible things I would hear niggas would say, like towards like dating and stuff, I was like, who are these niggas y'all talking about? I ain't never seen this shit before. And then I got on there and I started seeing the comments, and I'm like, oh, these niggas is for real. And then you got other platforms like Fresh and Fit that just nigga, just my mind is blown. My mind is blown. Like, and it scares me because these niggas hear themselves and they believe themselves. So
I
I'm
feel
glad that we have this space to talk because now we can, I don't want to say attack it directly because I don't like the word attack. I'm gonna say we can address it as a community together, and those who need, you know, edification can get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was really, like Black was saying, I was really hoping that Kevin Samuels would find that one person that reached out to him, they understood each other, and then he could adjust. Because just because you speak with empathy doesn't mean you're diluting truth. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that's the way he kind of geared his speaking pattern.
Right.
So
Let me see. I am true official going off over here. Let's see what you talking about.
oh snap, my bad. I'm true. I did not scroll down, bro. My fault. Let's see. Let me say, man, these folks turned the whole platform around by what they said, and then when calling in it wouldn't have been a platform if it ain't even tuned in with fools.
Okay.
All right.
Keep going. No, but he's just saying. I think he's saying like if it wasn't for the people calling in, it wouldn't
have made it what it was.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And that's why I said we have to take accountability because you can't make it without us. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? We are the people whether we were tuning in to disagree or tuning in to agree, we were tuning in. So we have to take some kind of accountability now. Now, it's not always about hurt. Just because a person is a voice doesn't mean that they will always hurt. Some people are perfectly fine and just want to give the people a voice to listen to. I'm gonna say this, and you might not think you hurt, but everybody speaks from a place of trauma. Your love language, the way you respond, is from trauma. It's what you have been dealt with and what you will accept. That's how you know how and what to accept. I'm not gonna say it's hurt, but how you are affected dictates the way you see things. That's just environment 101.
Yeah, but I see what I am true saying is like he said they literally only started to call in to state their case of why they needed a man that makes $250K a year. I can't remember one woman on there saying they want a regular good man is what I need. Like a couple of them came on there, but the majority of them was trying to state their case why they deserve a 6-figure man, a 6-foot man. And so he exploited that. And he was like, look, I'm that guy y'all talking about. And if y'all want that kind of guy, this is what it is. But I think women was trying to call bullshit on him. And so that's where the whole, that's what I'm saying, that I'm gonna try to knock that down because I feel like is not authentic. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the whole indignation came in against Kevin Samuels. And he didn't help himself by the way he was addressing them.
Can I just say I appreciate having real niggas in my life, like, because I feel like a lot of this stuff could be helped if you just had real people that could pull you aside and talk to you. But like nowadays, you can't really have those without having somebody being like a hater or not really understanding your side. Maybe they do understand your side, but maybe you just fucking wrong. Maybe that's the case. And sometimes you need to have somebody to be able to tell you that. And so I appreciate having that in my circle where you can be able to talk to somebody and try to have them be as objective as possible so that you don't have like foolishness like that. Like I don't want to, you don't want to be able to call somebody a dirty headed, dirty foot, whatever, and then turns around and you the one that was actually the problem. You know what I mean? So there's some times where you need to have your friends be that mirror to you to be like, hey, you fucking up.
Right.
No, that's as funny as all that is. That's true because I definitely have people that tell me, why are you doing that? That don't seem like you. Black, that don't compute. You know what I'm saying? So it is very important to have that circle around you so you don't look online to try to find something that you don't have.
Yeah, because you always find somebody that's going to be in the yes, like circle. You know what I mean? And that's dangerous to have, because then you got people gassing you up to do stupid shit, and now all of a sudden you done made real life decisions based off of what somebody told you. Man, that was stupid. I wouldn't let nobody do this, but you don't know their whole situation. So like to me, it's very dangerous to be having nothing but yes men in your circle.
Yeah, and that is ultimately how we're at where we're at now. This whole Kevin Samuels thing is a mess.
Yeah, Ashley Crenshaw probably says
understand.
what most people think, though. Most women think she's saying that is because, read that one. And please subscribe to the
weren't
YouTube
most of
channel.
the women asking for six-figure men also six-figure women? No, that
No,
is part of it.
definitely not. I'm talking about the one before
No,
that. She
it
said a
wasn't.
lot of black women blame Kevin for the emergence of the black, of the black men
A
who
lot of black
dog
women
black
blame
women
Kevin for the
online. So
emergence of
there's no
black
love
men who
lost.
dog black women online. I won't say.
But then
I think he made it. He made it pop culture. Can I say that?
Yeah,
He made it big and he made it popular culture.
Damn.
That's what I think it was. But it's always been niggas like that. But we just called them clowns. Like amongst us,
Right.
amongst my niggas, we were just like, oh, this nigga a clown.
We'll say he don't understand women. He arguing with women.
Or we say he sound like a nigga that don't deal with women. Like, or he play, you know what I'm saying? That's just how we viewed it, and we dismiss it. And I think because we weren't actively discrediting these guys, we got seen as complicit with it. When in actuality, we see it, we just don't pay them any attention. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, oh, you lame. Okay, I'm going over here now. You know, but actively now, I'm actively saying no, this ain't it. You know, and I think part of that was like growing up. I grew up with the mentality of do what you do, watch my shoes, because with you being a grown man, how you feel is how you feel, and how you gonna say it is how you gonna say it.
You said watch my shoes.
That's how I feel, honestly. Like what you do has no bearings on me as long as you don't encroach on me. The instant it starts to affect my life, that's when I got to step in. Like, whoa, hey, whoa, chill. But if you want to feel like you validating and dating white women, go for it. But just don't get online trying to rope in all black men or other black men into that shit. Nah, bro. Nah. Now you encroaching. Now you stepping on my shoes. Like, chill. Like, nah, bro. Flag on the play. We literally had me and Wyatt was roommates. We literally had a flag where we would throw a flag on shit like that. Like you ain't coming to the house doing that shit.
Sometimes
flag on the play.
We need that sometimes as men. Like we need to throw an actual flag on the play.
We did.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
So to everybody that tuned in, to y'all illustrious people who participated in the chat, to my gangsters here, Mr. Stokes, goddamn K Marie, goddamn your boy Black of the EBH Black Show. What y'all got going on before
Sade
we get up out of here?
don't forget about her.
and especially dude, he get craftique. Sade. Somebody get that goddamn goose. So before we get up out of here, y'all got anything going on real quick? Kay, you got anything going on?
Yes, I do. Tomorrow we're going to be in Pensacola for When Queens Link Up. It starts at 4 p.m. It's going to be at 135 North Pace Boulevard. Don't quote me on that, but do follow me and find the flyer for yourself. It's going to be a $5 admission. There are going to be all kinds of things. And of course, all the vendors are female, including the fire-ass DJ. I can't even think of her name right now. Huh?
DJ Hill.
What?
DJ Hill.
Look, because that's what she about to give you. You heard me. And she like young, but she got all the little hit. We was at something. I couldn't keep my shoulders still. You know what I'm talking about? But as for poetry and shows, we have a spoken word / neo soul / hip hop, good hip hop. You know what I mean? Type of show that's called the Solstice. and it's going to take place on June the 12th at Paul's Bar and Grill. Also follow for that. And of course, make sure to tune in to the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC every time for when we drop our topics and the many videos to come from the Adventures of Kay and Day, which we've been doing our work. We just ain't done yet. Some other things got to link with these things. So we ain't forgot about you, because we definitely here for women being here for women. And so we about to talk about it too. If Kevin can say what he wanted to say, we gonna say what we want to say too. And that's what we doing. But we gonna heal in the process. So we got a whole different twist on this. So make sure that you tune in when you see it. I would shout out to other people, but they're gonna shout themselves out like the Blerd Syndicate, you know, because he's doing big things. I need that snack shirt though. I definitely need that one. That's next shirt. I keep looking at it and put it in my car, and I'm like, nah, not yet. I put it in my car again. Nah.
But K Marie,
You know
did
what I
you
mean?
not know? If
What?
you shop online and you use the promo code LLC20, you get 20% off.
LLC20.
Did you say
Yeah.
20% off?
20% off.
That's beautiful. Now I can get 2 snack shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. I can get 2 colors. Oh man, that means she's gonna take my snack shirt. God dog. Or you know that everybody hates black shirt. Look, I ain't gonna shout them out. You know, I ain't gonna shout them out. They're gonna shout themselves out. Him doing the businessman and doing big. Look, they gonna talk about themselves. That's all I got for right now. But if you follow me, you'll find out everything else. So you can follow. We'll drop the hashtags. Don't worry. That's a lot to say. Go ahead, y'all.
All right, Black, what you got going on, bro?
Man, I got the EBH Black Show. Go to the YouTube page and subscribe and like. But I'm trying to go to the 2020 page because I'm thinking we should at least have like a couple subs. I want us to get this up and get us going because we really like to talk about these things. And the more people that we can get involved to talk about these things, the better the conversation. So that's really what it's about for me when it comes to this. I definitely want to start something like we can do more consistent, like a morning show or something, to get our day jumped off, to get our page more active, because we have a wonderful Facebook page. It's always growing, but we want to know what you guys think too. And so I want to find out ways that we can do that. If you guys have some suggestions, drop them in the chat. I definitely appreciate those that hacked in with us because we kind of went up. So I definitely appreciate that with y'all. Appreciate the panel for sure because you know I got they back like 4 facts.
Oh God, Mr. Stokes, what you got for me, bro?
So tomorrow, the Blerd Syndicate will be at Free Comic Book Day at Haven Comics. It's actually Free Comic Book Day everywhere. So if you go and take some kids to go get comic books, they can get them for free. They can learn about. They got a bunch of them. So at the one here in Madison, Alabama, we're going to be giving away water bottles, wristbands, stickers, candy. All those good things. Also every Sunday and Wednesday we do a live session where we do reviews. This Sunday we're going to be talking about Moon Knight, and we may actually throw another one in there that actually has the Doctor Strange review and reaction videos from that point. So what I want you to do, I want you to be like the Hulk. I want you to smash that follow button, and then we're going to be like Morgan Stark, and we're going to love you 3000.
Oh God, period.
Oh,
remember,
we did get a couple subscribers.
Yeah, and my brother needs the love. Also, where can they go to buy these wondrous items that you sell, good sir?
Oh, so you can also go to theblerdsyndicate.com, use the promo code LLC20 and get 20% off. We not only have that shirt that Kay Marie was talking about, we also have one that says thick thighs, thin patience. We also have those in travel bags and in totes, so weekend totes, so that you can be able to take those as well. So just mess with us, man. We got a whole bunch of stuff that everybody can be able to enjoy, no matter whether or not you like anime, cartoons, if you just like the culture, everything is there for you.
Oh God, man, I know I stay buying shit. So yeah, come get broke with your boy. And
we brought a Fresh Prince shirt that was like an anime style, but then after that,
get the Martin one too, though.
Yeah.
I gotta get the Martin one. So yeah, so definitely, we got some more coming up. Squad Goals will be returning. Don't worry. I know people have been asking me, yo, what's going on with Squad Goals? Yo, it's coming. We just nigga had to get his wisdom tooth pulled. You know, for those of y'all that don't know, you know, our squad mate, DeAndre Buck, aka Eternity, is getting married this month. So I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, we there to support him emotionally. My dog, he getting everything together. We about to turn up. We finna have fun.
Let go.
We finna have fun. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. Make sure you tell somebody about the 2020 podcast. Everybody involved. Yeah, we finna go home because I get tired. So
I'm at the
yeah.
house.
Say what?
I'm already at the house. That's how
Nigga,
going
what?
home, about to go home. I'm in. You know what I mean?
Look, you ain't
Well,
got a
I'm
pillow on the couch though.
I'm on
What?
the West Coast. The
I'm
sun
on
is
the
always
FaceTime
still
now.
out.
Crank this thing back.
Yo. And shout out to Halo City, PJ.
Ooh, yes.
Holiday, that's my brother.
Yes, that is who's
definitely
behind the
something
solstice,
big coming.
by the way. His
The
vision, and it's a
solstice?
beautiful thing. If you mix the equinox, shame on you, but you better not miss this one. Because be
Mhm.
be there, baby. Because being square
Yeah.
ain't sexy. That's what I tell you now.
Okay.
But
You could be a
SpongeBob's
rhombus,
walking
though.
around this hole. You know what I mean? Square
Right.
as shit because they wasn't there. Don't be them. Don't be them.
Don't be
Especially
doing
not
You
the
know what?
wrestling suits.
You know what? You know what?
What's that?
I think we might
Ooh.
have to do a giveaway for the solstice. I think we might
I
have to
got
do
a
a
question for
giveaway.
y'all too.
We might have to give away a couple tickets to the
And this
solstice,
probably
bro.
gonna rile y'all up, but I'm just gonna ask this question and y'all fester on it and think about it, and we'll reconvene at a later time for it. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Can you support Dave Chappelle and also support Will Smith with the same mouth?
And with that being said,
And with that being said, we gotta go.
gone,
We
nigga.
gotta go. We
Like,
out.
I'm gone.
Man, listen.